So, if you have ever seen the movie As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson, he had a disease where he didn't like to use the same bar soap. It was germ phobia or something like that. So he'd unwrap a thing of soap, wash his hands, throw it away, undo another one, keep washing his hands, throw it away, undo another one, keep washing his hands, and throw it away. We actually knew somebody like that actually did that, had a germ phobia. So they kind of inspired this video. But also, I'm always looking for money-saving tips and ways to make things last longer so that you don't have to buy things so much and so often. And I love to put this kind of information in my books. I want to do a book for this one, maybe a few other household tips, and turn it into a series, just short little things that have just a few tips each. Not a big book that you just gotta keep going through. And anyways, so that kind of inspired this too. Another thing that has inspired this is I'd seen a video for people who like to camp, and they were melting down the bars of soap, pouring the liquid into old like Zantac things, and like if you ever bought like NyQuil or Dayquil or Mucinex tablets, those little silver packs where you individually pop out each one. So they were using those and melting down bars of soap and pouring those in there and then resealing them with foil, and taking those camping so they had individual uses. All they did was pop one of those out like you do a pill, and it was an individual use soap. So that also inspired this. Those three things inspired me to do a video on something that I've been doing for years. So, for years now, I have been cutting my soap. So this is John's soap. I do my friend's soaps too, if they let me. So, if you look though, cheaper soaps are not made so good sometimes. Some brands are not made so good. I won't say cheap because some cheap are good too. But if you can see, I used a knife on this, and you can see how blocky and choppy it is, and how there's a lot of little tiny pieces in there. Okay, this was another one, a cheap brand that somebody gave me, and the same thing happened. It's flaky, it's falling apart, there's different sizes. I used a knife for it. I use a very good knife, a Pioneer Woman knife that is extremely sharp. In fact, we make knives and everything. Hey, John, bring me that knife on the table. We make knives. And, you know, here's an example of one that John has made. Okay? Been making them for years. I have a lot of knives, and I have never, ever cut myself. And I cut myself with the Pioneer Woman for the first time. Almost took off my thumb. Very nice, very sharp, and we sharpen knives for other people, and I mean, I'll sit there, and when I do it, I count 200 times one way and then 200 times the other side. Sometimes more, depending on the knife, what shape it's in. But I mean, we sharpen knives to the point of it can shave the hair off your arm. I never get cut. Didn't hardly do nothing at all, and nearly took my freaking thumb off with Pioneer Woman. But anyways, so I used a very good knife on these, and you can just see how choppy and blocky, and then at the bottom there was nothing but dust. That just practically fell apart. So I personally like Dial soap. You know, Zest will do it too. This wasn't Zest. I think this was called Coastal or something. Somebody gave it to me. I don't like it. After chopping it up and starting to use it, I just thought it smelled like old women. You know, like old lady in the nursing home smell. Like, I don't like it. But I love Dial. I love Dial soaps. And I love them for so many reasons. They make a nice, solid, smooth block. There's no flaking. And it's just baby bottom smooth. Perfect little block. Doesn't fall apart on you. You get nice even cuts. They last a long time. They've got great scents that smell really good. So I just love Dial. I love Dial too because I've used other bars of soap and they don't have the same effect on my skin. But when I use Dial, I've noticed my skin tightens up. The bags under my eyes will go away. Everything looks firmer. I look younger. Even on my neck, the wrinkles lessen and everything. It just really tightens and draws your skin up. And I love that. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, same effect sexually. I'm tighter if I wash with a bar of this in my female parts than I am if I use other things. This tightens me up down there too. So, I love Dial, okay? So this is my version of a single serve. It lasts longer than a single serve. But this would be great for like my friend or the person that we knew. They weren't really a friend, they were an associate or an acquaintance. But anyway, you know, for people that have that germ phobia, you just unpackage it, cut it, it's never been used, and you get a single serve. Just like this, and you don't have to waste so much soap. I hate waste. I personally just hate waste. And this is nice because this can be your single serve. You could probably even do a smaller chunk than that because they don't fall apart and flake. You won't get the size in those other brands. It just flakes apart. So, but you will in Dial, okay? And so Dial, if y'all see this, do not start making cheaper bars of soap. I hate this. Every time you start learning money-saving tips, you know what they do? Companies, I'm not saying Dial specifically, I'm just saying companies, okay? They go and they start making smaller bars of soap that cost more. Or doing fancy little things and that cost more. I want the same bar of soap. I weigh it. I know how much it weighs. And if y'all start doing that, I ain't buying from you no more. I'm done. I want to make my own individual. I don't want y'all to make individual things that cost more. Okay? I don't need all that packaging. That's bad for the environment. So don't even think about, oh, well, now we're cutting out of money because she done found a way to save money and the bars of soap last that long. That's money we could be making. So let's start making smaller bars of soap that cost more so they have to buy more often. This is what companies do. It's as bad as, like, they give you cost of living things, for example. Again, not Dial specifically, but the government, you know, just in general. They start giving you more money and then all the prices go up. They need to set the prices where people can no longer raise the prices. This is ridiculous. This is pointless. We're not getting anywhere. They give you more money to cover the rent goes up. They start giving things and then the gas prices go up. It's ridiculous. It's counterproductive. It's not helping anyone. They need to make a law where they quit raising prices. But I'm tired of these companies that go through and they start making smaller things that cost more. It's ridiculous. Like even McDonald's sandwiches are that way now. Used to get a freaking 2 potato things and, you know, a biscuit and a drink. And now you get 1 potato thing and a smaller sandwich and it costs more. And no, I'm done with that. Like, no, don't do that. I'll quit buying you. I'll quit. I'll just quit. I'm tired of companies doing that. We want the same bar soap so we can save and stretch resources. I mean, we're running out of resources. People don't realize that because we're like one of the, what they say, the richest countries in the world. But resources are stretched thin. And there's so much waste going on in America. We're not going to have nothing. All right, you don't know what soap is made out of, but that comes from things, resources, the environment, etc. And we're running out of that. So if everybody would take tips like this, they would help the environment, things would last longer, they would save on money. And anyways, John, bring me the knife on the kitchen. This one, this size right here, lasts me about a month, sometimes 2, depending on how much we use it. This is the Pioneer Woman knife I was using to cut the soap. This plate is Pioneer Woman. I have the full set of, this is called the Agatha collection. So I've got the teapot and everything, the full set at this point. This one lasts me about a month and a half on the sink, where we wash our hands and stuff regularly in the kitchen, and I have one on the bathroom sink. And then I have one I keep in the shower. And I like it because it does last so long. But in the meantime, this is the only thing in the shower getting wet. And what people don't realize is you waste about 80 to 90% of your bar of soap by keeping it in the shower and on the sinks. It gets wet. It constantly dissolves as it's wet. It takes a long time to dry. It starts melting and dissolving during that process of drying. Every time you splash water on the kitchen sink or in the bathroom, or it overflows or whatever while you're washing dishes, the soap gets wet, it starts dissolving and melting. Every time you turn the shower on, the steam, the heat, even if you don't use the bar soap, if it gets wet, if the water splashes on it and it gets wet, it starts dissolving. It starts melting. A lot of times you have so much residue left over in your bar, your soap holder, and in the shower, on the ledge and everything. There's just residue everywhere. All that is wasted. Also, in the process of this sitting on the counter, like the kitchen, any food that spills over or splashes while you're washing dishes contaminates it. Alright? People with germophobias don't like that. That's why they wash their hands and they throw it away. Okay? Anything in the shower, it does that, okay? Any germs that are in there, etc., it's being exposed to constant germs. Same thing on the bathroom sink, exposed to constant germs. So by cutting it like this is the only part of that entire bar of soap that is being exposed to germs and getting wet and melting and stuff. Now, you could do this just so you don't have, little bars of soap to deal with every single time you got to get one out from under the sink. Okay? So you can do that, and it'll last in the shower for, about a month. Sometimes 2, depends on how many showers, how many people showering. But this size usually lasts me in all the rooms about 2 months. So, or you could do the single serve. This is enough soap right here to lather your lather your rag about 3 or 4 times. Maybe more. It just depends on how well you lather it, really. But yeah, this will last about 3 or 4 times. So you might lather it 3 or 4 times in the shower, depending on if you stand under the shower and your rag, runs out of soap. Or if you have 3 or 4 different showers, that will last that long. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It just depends. A lot varies. This lasts a really long time. So, that's what I do. So this bag, I've had this bag now about 6 months. And John's had this bag about a year. And actually, that's not the only 3 pieces left. I only did a piece of his to see if he liked it. Because some people don't want to worry with that. They just want their bar of soap, they want to be done, and then they want to throw it away. They don't want to have to sit there and worry about getting out a chunk every so often, you know? So I just wanted to see if he'd be comfortable. He does like it like this. But there's about more than half a bar of soap in there, so... But this has lasted him about 6 months. He had 6 to 8 pieces in here. And he's lost most of them. I do know that for a fact, too, because we started in the RV, and he lost most of them. Washing his hands at the river and outside the RV, and put it down on a log and stuff like that. But, he might have had this about a year, actually, now that I think about it. This might have lasted him about a year, and he still hasn't used all the pieces. But anyways, yeah, so it saves. It really saves. People are using way too much soap, going through way too many resources, and that needs to stop.